Hey, it's Josh with the iFanboy Mini for the day. I am in the calm, cool waters of a Maine stream. I'm on vacation, but obviously I couldn't get away long enough to not have to shoot video, because that's how it works around here. But I was so excited that I wanted to talk to you about the book that I've been reading, which is not a comic book, but it's TO Astonish by Ronin Ro. This is a novel. It's about the story of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, mostly focusing on Jack Kirby and his whole career through the 40s, when he goes to war, then creating the Marvel Universe, and I'm not even done with it yet, but that's how much I wanted to talk about it. When he goes to DC and starts to create the Fourth World. The book is really fascinating. In fact, it's so fascinating that I'm almost afraid to go back and read the work that they're talking about in this, because they make it sound so interesting and so revolutionary. But I think the one thing that comes out of it is nothing you haven't heard before, that Jack Kirby is a ridiculous genius. And you know, you've heard that before, but you really realize he was, you know, at one point he's writing, drawing, editing, you know, a whole book a week. And he does this all the time. He works constantly. And it's also an incredibly sad story, because Jack never really stood up for himself. And he did all this work and created some of the most amazing things anybody had ever seen in comics or story or otherwise. And just like, he kept getting screwed over and over again. And it is crushing. But at the same time, to see this sort of genius that comes out of the guy, and sort of see how he worked and how Stan worked and how Marvel worked. And I don't mean to make it sound like Stan Lee's a bad guy. He's not. Stan Lee's Stan Lee, and he's pretty upfront about what that's like. I bought this book for, I think, $6, something like that, on Amazon. And it's absolutely worth the time and the money, just because if you've ever wondered about this era and these creators and all these things, it really helps give you a perspective on what things were like then. And the comics industry was very different, but a lot of stuff was pretty similar. So I recommend it highly. Even if you've only had a passing interest in this stuff, it's, you know, if you're a comics fan, it's going to be pretty fascinating. It's written fairly well. It's laid out well. There's some sentence stuff that I read and like, that doesn't seem very good. But apparently the guy wrote for Vanity Fair, USA Today, Los Angeles Times, so he's a real writer. Overall, though, it's been a really, really good reading experience and a ton of fun. You should probably go read it. That is all. I'm going to get back to recreating. So go to ifanboy.com for more stuff. And if you want more video, go over to revision3.com/ifanboy. Barbecuing, frisbee, fishing apparently is what some people do. I'm on a, they called it a canoe. Canoe. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but it rocks. Apparently, in a couple of weeks, they're going to let me untie it and go away, but right now I'm not to be trusted. See ya. Grab this paddle. Gas. Alright. I give. It won't start.